Welcome to the first Ways of Wealth reading that I am recording for the Empress Vibe channel. In the Ways of Wealth readings, what I do is explore prominent figures, public figures, those who are either wealthy or elite celebrity status, who have achieved things that most will not achieve in this lifetime, so we can understand the type of energies that are at play in those arenas. Because if we as empresses are to thrive and achieve all that we set out to achieve, and if we are to manifest everything that we want to manifest in this life, we gotta be familiar with what's going on in them circles. We can't get in them circles and then be afraid of the energies that we see there. We got to know what's really popping. And please understand that there's a lot of spiritual warfare in high places. Evil in high places reigns right now. And as we build up our divine feminine army of empresses, we got to know what it is that we tapping into and what we dealing with. And something that's been on my spirit lately is the rapper BLUEFACE. And the crazy part about it is I've seen this girl's name. I've seen the girl's name in every story that is reported on them. Y'all know the toxic relationship, or the seemingly toxic, we're going to find out in this reading, relationship that I'm talking about. But for the life of me, as many times as I've seen this girl's name, I cannot remember her name. That's an identityless spirit. That's a soul that has no identity. There's nothing about it memorable, so it clings to something else. There are a lot of instances of women who are into it with, high profile men, rappers, basketball players, whatever the case may be. But I know Jada's name. I know Corey and Carmen. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know the women who are associated with the men. And a lot of times the women, they may not necessarily, be the star. Just like the Karrueche and Chris Brown situation. Like, when we first heard of her, no one really knew what she was doing or what she was into. And sometimes they are able to build up their name off of the man that they're involved with. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But something about this BLUEFACE situation and this girl who I cannot even remember her name, despite how many times I've seen her, I just remember feeling a sickening feeling of all of her matriarchs have failed her. So I want to get into a reading, the tarot reading, so that we can explore the energies around that relationship. And is it media portrayal of an identityless spirit, or is it truly she has no route, no direction, no purpose outside of being fed by a man? So we're going to get into it. I want to throw these runes first. Holy Spirit, I ask for you and you alone to come into this place and provide us with direction and give us an understanding, also the peace that encompasses all understanding, that surpasses all understanding. I just feel a wayward energy, just lost soul energy. Some inner turmoil and issues that are eclipsed by the sun, like the brightness of celebrity overshadows the darkness within. And a wayward energy. It's a self-hatred underneath, someone who cannot reach their heights, or is not reaching their heights, or is not reaching their potential because of self-hatred. Force and aggression, manipulation, spiritual manipulation. There is this energy of like someone placing themselves as God. So I would assume that's the BLUEFACE character placing himself as God in this person's life, in this girl's life. Y'all say her name in the comments. Say her name. I can't remember it for the life of me. I just remember her face. And it's like an energy of desperation. An energy of desperation and craving acceptance. Craving understanding, craving acceptance, craving home. These two came up. There goes the moon again. It's a blind, wayward, lost spirit. Somebody who has no path. They can't see. Unable to see. There is no sight, no foresight, no hindsight. Just here. Just here. There's an emptiness. When you just here, you don't have no direction, you don't have no purpose, you on the path of destruction. Purposeless, no path of, no reason to be here. There's like no outside hobbies here. Baby girl has no hobbies other than pleasing this man, moving for his acceptance. It will not end well. Ten of Swords, it will not end well because there is no prosperity in it from the beginning. Oh, the Four of Cups in reverse supports that. It will not end well. Stagnant energy is, the life is being drained. There can be life in a vessel, but if there's no purpose for that life, then it will be drained. No purpose, Temperance in reverse. No path, no goal. When I say the sun eclipsed the moon, it's like all of this darkness, just having no direction, no understanding, not knowing where to go or what to do, or having no focus, no purpose, having no self-value and self-worth. And in the darkness, supernatural forces can come and cling to you. They can come stick to you when you have no purpose, when you just have an open soul out here. There's no path. Lord, this nameless child, motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, long way home. This person grew up in a home where they didn't feel like there was a home. She didn't have a home. Baby girl didn't have a home. She may have had people who gave her clothes and who fed her, but baby girl didn't have no home. Yeah, an easily influenceable mind. Easily influenced mind, because it ain't built on nothing. There is no foundation here. This man has become her foundation. He has become her chief cornerstone. He is basically serving as the Jesus in her life. Toxic attachments. But we already knew that. A lot of these cards are telling me stuff that I can kind of see off of face value, honestly. This is all the same stuff that I was seeing from the get-go. Nine of Swords in reverse. It's like a perpetual, unending. This girl has never gotten past that point of feeling like she has no worth, like she has no purpose. It's like an empty vessel. And a toxic attachment will definitely, jump into an empty vessel. Anytime your soul is not full of source, full of a higher power, or anytime you make man your higher power, you are susceptible to corruption. And that's exactly what we have going on here. Ain't no foundation. This person's never had a foundation. This girl has never had a foundation. That's where the lack of identity comes in. It's just like how African Americans were stolen from their home country and placed here to be ridiculed and to be mistreated, and somehow were programmed into believing that master had their best intentions at heart. When it was time to be emancipated, a lot of slaves didn't want to go. They wanted to remain enslaved out of fear of having to find their own soul and find their own purpose. It's a lot of sorrow, a lot of pain here. Deep sorrow and pain. And it's been given to her by someone else. That baby inherited sorrow and pain. Her inheritance is sorrow and pain. That's where she came from. There was never a foundation laid for this baby girl. She just wants family. She just wants family, somebody to give her attention and treat her worth something, and she'll take it from any direction. So if you have this son, this larger than life personality who is focused on you or seemingly focused on you, it don't matter. It don't matter if they coming at you with evil intentions. It don't matter if they manipulating you. It don't matter if they degrading you. You just happy to have somebody's attention. When you've been in a world where you ain't got no attention from nobody. It don't matter however way it can work out. However way you can get it, you'll take it. And that's the energy that this identityless soul has. Bound by a lifestyle where it's fulfilling her. Don't make no mistake. It fulfills her. But it fulfills her because she has never actually been filled with love. She has never felt love from anybody, especially not from somebody important. So when somebody who has celebrity finds an interest in you, it don't matter if there is a narcissistic intent. It doesn't matter if there is evil intent. It doesn't matter if there is manipulative intent behind their interest in you. You just happy to have somebody who take a liking to you when you ain't never had nobody take a liking to you before. Goddess, what's your word on this? Divine Feminine, tell me, what's your word on this? Empress energy, what's your word on this? Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. What's your word on this, guys? Another word on this. Yep. We have the arts. The Most High blesses us with the energy of creation, being the only creator, truly, the source of all creation. When we are tapped in to source, we can show our creativity. That's when we have creativity and we're able to create the things that stand out. The Holy Spirit fire moves through a person and gives them the ability to create. The fact that there's nothing attached to this girl's name aside from her relationship with this rapper tells me that she's cut off from source. Not that source cut her off, but that she has not found her connection to source. Right now, everything that comes to her, that comes from her, is routed through this personality that she's attached to, Blueface. And there's nothing that she won't do to please who essentially in her life is her God. There's nothing that she won't do. Oh, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. That nothing that she won't do. It's going to be to her detriment. When I say that this won't end well, the fact that there's nothing that she won't do, that's to her detriment. When you make a person, when you make man your God and serve man with loyalty, with commitment, with honor, you serve man. It don't end well. Because man's ultimate destiny is death. A man's ultimate destination, your final destination is the grave. So if you serve somebody whose final destination is the grave, where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? She's going in circles, doing all she can to prove she wants more. She wants more. She's craving more. The more seemingly outrageous her actions get, or the more commitment she tries to show to this man, it's going to be the further away from it that she actually gets. There's a destitute energy about her, and I don't feel the destitute energy on him. I just feel it on her. Because him, on the other hand, he has a purpose. He has a purpose. He has things to look forward to, definitely outside of a person. Emperor energy. He's absolutely 100% in control of himself. This man is 100% in control. That's why for most of this reading, I try to watch against saying negative things about him. And I wanted to focus more on this soul without an identity, this spirit without a purpose and without a foundation, who has made this man into her God. Emperor energy over on his side. Arts over here on this side. There is movement. There is creation happening on his side. There is a road to destruction. There is death on her side. There is no life. It's almost parasitic. And I don't mean him leeching onto her. I mean her leeching onto him without direction. The Emperor on his side is upright. On her side, there's Emperor in reverse, Justice in reverse, 7 of Swords in reverse. There is a terrible imbalance here. Something that he has absolutely nothing to do with is essentially the motive behind why she is so clingy and why she is so devoted to him. It really has nothing to do with him. Again, that's why I'm trying to watch against blaming him for it, and I'm more focused on her with the identity-less spirit. Because Emperor is over here, purpose is over here, creative activity is over here. There is expansion. There is hopefulness over here. There is purpose. There is mission over on this side of the reading. There is not over here. And these are the cards that I've been like more drawn to as far as her situation and how it ends for her. Father in heaven, give me more. Father in heaven, give me more. Give me more, give me more. Because I see it doesn't end well. Let's get more into the ending. I see violence here. Violence and heartbreak. Violent heartbreak. Violent ending and heartbreak. Clarify that. Violent ending and heartbreak. Domestic issues. Okay. Violent ending, heartbreak. something that's going on that's not seen right now. There's a lot that's happening behind the scenes. We see the messiness of it. We see, you know, of course, what's being reported, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. This is a storyline that's been playing out. It's a story of destruction playing out here. Okay, we have the sun. Sun and Pen. Oh, wow. So there will come a time when this person on the side, Blueface, I see, comes into divinity. There'll be a time when Blueface comes into divinity. Now, when I say come into divinity, it could be through his own, or it can be influenced by another party, a divine feminine. And whoo, Jesus, a situation where the one who is clinging to him will not be able to take it. I do not see it ending well. We have Queen of Swords, Hermit, someone who is self-assured. There's a woman present who knows what the fuck is going on. She knows who she is. A very alert presence, a self-aware feminine is here. And then there's this wild attraction. This wild attraction, this instant attraction, this deep addiction that he will have to this woman who is aware of herself, who has her own identity and her own purpose, because he is also someone who has its own identity and its own purpose. The situation with the girl who is kind of like, basically like, I hate to say it, but I heard lapdog. That's not going to please a man for long. A man will take whatever he can out of that situation and move forward with someone who does have an identity. There's a woman with an identity who is present, and she's not going to go for none of that shit. She's not going to go for nothing but respect. And that's the type of energy that a man like him will find himself addicted to. In the same manner that this energy, the nameless girl, that energy is not equally yoked with his energy. It is just, it's just sucking life from it. I feel all of the connection to source on Blueface's side. So he is actually the life source for her, and she is sucking energy out of him. It's an attachment to his name that has nothing to do with what it is that he's actually trying to create. The way that Blueface is involved with this girl, that was not his original intention for fame. That was not what he became famous to do. But it has become what he is, you know, kind of known for. When someone comes along who is more equally yoked, I feel a strong attraction on his side to a woman who is like, she's so sure of herself and she's very cut and dry. And I don't feel argumentative, but I do feel that she will speak up and have a voice. Something about this woman's voice. Voice and identity are strong on this side with this woman. So there's a woman who will come in the exact, total, complete opposite of the woman who got his face tattooed on her neck. Complete opposite of that. And that woman will have such a purpose that she will be so focused on her purpose and so connected to source. And she will have such a strong identity and such a strong will and self-awareness that Blueface becomes hooked to this woman. Similarly, in the way that this lady that is addicted to him now, that same energy is in him. That's why he was able to attract somebody who has such a strong and deep devotion to him in that way, such a need for him, such a desperation for his validation. He was able to attract that because that energy is also present in him. And there will come a time when the tables will turn and his energy will be activated that mirrors the girl with the tattoo on her neck. He will have that energy in him, but it will be for a woman who is connected to source, who knows herself, who has an identity. And at the point where he falls and becomes addicted to or attached to, in ties to, and it could be a child, the son did come out, he could have a baby with a woman who is more vocal and who's more aware of herself and who won't be so clingy and who will have her own life. And when it gets to that point, things will not go right. Well, things will go down for this woman. I've seen domestic violence. Jesus. Domestic violence. I'm hoping, pray the kid ain't have nothing to do with it, but the child card did come out further down here. I just was naturally led to place it further away from the violence card. So the child, I feel like is divinely protected. Whether it's on its way or whether it comes in the years to come, the child will be divinely protected. But there's a domestic violence situation that does not end well here. and it will not end well for her. Ooh, the Tower. Things breaking down over here. It's definitely going to be a breakdown. And that domestic violence, her turning on, because there's a thin line between love and hate, and y'all know that. The flash of Lynn Whitfield's face and thin line between love and hate just came over here for me. So there could even be a situation where the clinger spirit either orchestrates a domestic violence situation or harms herself and then blames it on Blueface when the other woman becomes involved. She want to be sister wives. At this point, she don't mind playing sister wife. As long as there are other women that he doesn't get like too addicted to, as long as he still maintains his freedom, and as long as she sees that he treats other women in a similar manner to how he may treat her, she still feels like she has an opportunity to do all that she can to grab his attention, and that one day she'll be first and she'll be number one in his eyes. But there's someone who is much more ordained and much more equally yoked for him in the present. I mean, in the future. Well, shit, I said present when I meant to say future, so he might already know the girl. We just might not know. The media is going to be late to what's happening. But I meant to say future, and present is what came up. Also, the word future keeps playing over in my head, so I don't know if this girl has an attachment to the rapper Future, if Blueface meets the girl through the rapper Future, or if the girl then had relations with Future. Y'all know he a hoe. He be out there slanging that wood. Ain't no telling how many girls he done hit. So this girl might be like an ex-fling or something that had to do with Future. Could be. But I just know the word future is keep popping out in my head right now. God is what say you. Bold. Unleash your adventurous side. Take the risk and be daring. This woman here is not afraid to lose a man. The one that he'll end up being addicted to is someone who is not afraid to lose a man. She'll walk away. And the fact that she'll walk away and he's so used to having this spirit that is clinging to him that does not have its own identity, it's going to drive him wild. It's going to drive him wild. He's going to be so addicted to it, so drawn to it. Men act like they don't care for women who don't fawn over them. But that's a lie. That's a lie. You were created to excel in combat. So when a woman gives you some push and pull, when a woman give a man a little fight, that riles something up in him. And I feel like what's riling up in him is going to be an addiction. It's going to be a strong addiction to that woman in a way that mirrors what this clinger spirit currently has to him. And she's doing all that she can to become number one. But it's this woman who knows herself who's going to end in the end, who's going to win in the end. Oh, Holy Spirit, clarify what it is that the nameless woman. Clarify what it is that the nameless woman will either do or try to set up or have against the new woman, because I did feel that. I said she will end in the end, and that is not what I meant to say. Clarify. Clarify, Holy Spirit. Clarify. That was 6 of Wands. Clarify, clarify. 6 of Wands, that win by any means. That's action. Win by any means. Clarify, clarify. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of wands. There's a lot of fire energy here. Win by any means. Win by any means. Violence in the end with a 10 of Swords. I feel like this clinger, she'll go to no, she will stop at nothing to get this woman out of her way. Stop at nothing to get this woman out of her way. She will not stop at poisoning. She will not stop at drugging her to be able to do what it is that she needs to do. There's a level of desperation over here that I don't think y'all understand. The first time I seen it, it was over a year ago when I first started. It caught my attention. I'm like, what's going on with that? Because it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Every time a story is reported about her, it just really rubs me the wrong way. And I'm like, where's her matriarchs? Why has she been failed like this? And at this point, it's a dangerous addiction. It's not really even love anymore. It's more like it's a dangerous addiction. It's a dangerous addiction. It's a tie to somebody. It's an energy sucking energy. It's a I need you. I'm gonna do everything I can because I need you. If I cannot have you, I don't think nobody should have you type of energy. As long as you're treating the other women the way you treat me, or not better than you treat me, or as long as I'm the one who's able to get the most attention As long as my name is able to be attached to you closer than any other woman, I'm fine. But as soon as you fall for someone who has her own identity, it's going to be a problem. And this woman will not stop short of poisoning, drugging, kidnapping. It's an untethered energy, somebody who is losing their footing and doesn't know what else to do. So in that point, when you get to that level of desperation, they say when you back a dog into a corner, it comes out fighting and biting you. And she gonna feel backed into a corner by the presence of this new woman who actually would have Blueface's heart. And she's not gonna stop at nothing to see her dreams fulfilled with him. Drugging, cups, putting something in somebody's drink, something that would lead to like overdosing. It just does not end well. And if she can't get it for the other girl, she will do it for herself. I just saw Romeo and Juliet here. Juliet thought Romeo was dead, or however that story ended. One thought the other one was dead, or one thought the other one was gone and went ahead and killed himself. Is that type of energy. It don't end well. There's a lot of mental illness here. It's a lot of mental illness. It's a lack of connection. It's a lot of addiction. A devilish connection to somebody that you can't shake and you can't let go of. And when it gets to a point where she becomes a burden, that's when she's gonna blow. When he stops paying attention to her and starts really devoting most of his attention over to this woman who has an identity, it's gonna drive this one crazy. The one who is aware, thank God she is aware, because I feel like that's gonna be her covering. Because that connection is actually supported over here. Thank God she is aware, as she is, and God knows exactly what he's doing when he sends people into your life. That divinity is what's going to keep her. Because I feel protection around her. Angels are on this woman who knows herself and who has a firm connection to God. This is divine femininity over here. Empress energy is present in the building on this side. That's what would get a man addicted. This clinger energy, that's not going to be able to keep him. Because he has his own purpose. And it does not include being her keeper or having stories of her continuing to do progressively more and more outrageous things to keep his attention, to the point where the things that she's doing to keep his attention are beginning to overshadow what it is that he came to do. And when a woman's actions begin to overshadow a man, it ain't gonna be long before he step on out. Yeah, it's beginning to be much. It's beginning to be a lot. This woman over here on this side, she's protected though. She's divinely protected through her connection to source. A bold woman, she's not going to be caught up into it. So the other woman on this side, the clinger, she's going to have to do something sneaky, like drugging, like staging someone's overdosing, putting something in their drink, adding something, I just heard fentanyl, doing something that is meant to harm the other party, but there's protection over on this side. Anything that this clinger does to go against the divine is going to be repaid unto her. And it does not end well. I've seen too many swords cards, and the Ten of Swords way too much. It's not going to end well over here. And Queen of Swords comes back to just round out the reading. Basically, we got it here. I don't see any death here. I'm so glad that death did not come out, but I do see some crime, some shit happening that should not be happening. Somebody trying to set somebody else up. The clinger over here coming to get somebody who has divinity around her. Divinity will be protected, her and her child and or children. Or the child could literally be projects that she's working on. This one could try to do something to mess up the divines over here's business ventures, or could show up like drunk and unruly to this one's party or something like that. And it just does not end well. I see more of a jailed energy over here on the clinger side, having to be bound. The same way that she wants to bind herself to Blueface, I feel the bound energy on her. So it will be more of either getting herself committed into like a psych ward or jail for her, for what she does to try to get back at Blueface's love and commitment and addiction to this woman whose source is her God. She is connected to the Most High God, and she comes with her own identity, and she comes with her own voice. And the clinger is not going to be able to take it. This whole reading, I've made it a point, because I felt even before I did the reading, let me not judge him. Let me not be shady toward him, because that's something a lot of women want to do. But this is her. That's her own energy. These are her own shortcomings that need to be worked on. And perhaps being bound to a prison or to a psychiatric ward is what she needs, because there's a lot of mental health issues that stem from childhood and her own foundation here. It don't have nothing to do with him. What he's doing right now is enabling her, actually. Maybe it is for ego. Maybe at first it does stroke his ego because he's a man, and to have a woman with this, seemingly undying commitment to him, but there's such an ugly reasoning behind this commitment. You don't want nobody who's committed to you because they're empty inside. You don't want no emptyless spirit. You don't want no empty soul, identityless spirit clinging to you, because they're going to try to suck everything out of you to the point where they start to eclipse you. When you become that person's God, they're going to start doing the most. And all of a sudden, everything that you worked for ain't even important no more, because everybody is looking at how this clinger is in relation to you. And then people start to put negative beliefs on you. So the feelings of worthlessness and abandonment, the things that this person is dealing with, it will be transferred onto you. And I feel that eventually that energy of like worthlessness, people will start looking at Blueface like, oh, he ain't shit. When it's not even him, it's her. He is not responsible for her emotional well-being. That is her responsibility. Her mental stability is her responsibility. And he cannot be her God because he is man. He cannot be her God. She has no connection to a higher power aside from Blueface's connection to source, which is where his creativity and his blessings come from. And when he runs into that woman who matches that connection with source, that's who he's going to be bound to. That's who he's going to be committed to in the heart. It ain't got to be they get married, but either through child or even in business, they have something to do together. They are meant to walk a road together. The clean spirit is not meant to walk a road with those who are called by a higher source, those who are connected to the Most High. And when she realizes that they trying to move in a way that she can't come, or when this other woman, this divine feminine here, begins to receive him in a way that she has not received him over on this side, it's going to get ugly. That feeling of rejection could be the final rejection for her and cause her to act out, lash out, try some crazy shit, and end up bound either in jail or in a psych ward somewhere. You've heard it here first, y'all. Ways of wealth. You got to understand, when you're looking at wealthy people, the celebrities and the elite, it ain't always what the media portrays. Blueface ain't necessarily a bad man or manipulative or narcissist, like I've heard so many women say, just because this woman is acting in this way for him. That don't mean that it's him that's the problem. That could be a spirit that is latched onto him and that's trying to drag him down. She says she's in love, but it's more like obsession and infatuation. A little bit of opportunistic. And that will cause people to see him in a whole new way. And masculines all around the world are dealing with this. Women who are not stable and who do not have that divine femininity in their own family, who did not have matriarchs to teach them anything about their own self-worth, they'll cling to a man and they'll bring down everything that man wanted to build with his life. Because all people on the outside gonna see is, oh, he did that woman wrong. Or he let her do that. This grown man can't stop no grown woman from doing nothing. And nor should she want a grown man to stop her from doing anything. That's the empowerment that a lot of women these days lack. If you think you need a man to tell you to do something or to stop you from doing something or to gatekeep for you, you are not empowered. You are not in your divinity. But just as sure as he has that calling on his life to rise to where he is, to do what he does in the way that he does it, there's someone else who is equally yoked to him, who is doing her own thing, who does have an identity and who does have a name. And when those two come together, it's going to piss this one off. This is that karmic energy y'all be reading about. I mean, y'all be hearing about in those tarot readings all over YouTube. This is that energy, that karmic energy. She's trying to release her karma out on him, trying to get him to solve her karma of not ever being healed, coming from a broken place. These are demons. She's fighting demons that come way before he did. She had these demons in her way before she ever knew who this man was. And maybe it's going to take this divinity to come together on this side with the woman with an identity, and for him to be equally yoked with the woman who is also as creative as he is. It's going to take that for this one to have to, basically, she's going to have to dismount. What's it called? When you get a parasite off of you, dismount, unlatch, whatever the case may be, this unlatching is going to be what spirals her out of control. And she will have to be bound. Again, psych ward or jail. Y'all, it's real out here. You have to understand these energies and not just look at it from face value, from the outside looking in. Definitely, you can't trust what media and social media says. You got to go to the Holy Spirit and you got to see things from spiritual eyes. Because what I'm feeling like, this spiritual attack is actually on him. And it comes from a cursed womb and cursed energy, divinity that was not present in the females in this woman's family. Divine feminine has not touched this woman's life. She ain't been taught by nothing or nobody about divine femininity. So it's toxic femininity, actually. The clinginess, the doing the most to be seen as the number one girl. But there's obviously no worth and no identity. That's why I've been seeing this girl's name for over a year and cannot remember her name for the life of me. Cannot remember it. Say her name in the comments. Put a prayer up in the air for her. But I want to exit this energy out of my home. You got to get out of my home, out of my house, because we know who we are over here. And we're going to tell the truth. Divine feminine is present in Blueface's life in the future or associated with future. And there is more that they have to do. There's a road that they have to walk, being equally yoked. This one right here, there's destruction. And there's a binding energy. It's like she is basically trying to bind herself to him. His face, what he does is use his voice. She got his face in the area of her throat chakra. That is basically branding her chakra with his energy. She is sucking energy off of him. All right, y'all, be aware. The Lord said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Listen when it's here before you and understand these things, because this has been a ways of wealth, ways of the wealthy reading. And you may think it's above you and you may think it's just celebrity gossip, but the stuff that keeps coming up in your face and you may feel a way about it. And a lot of women feel a way about this. This is God trying to speak to you. This is God trying to teach you something, because everything can't be explained easily. Sometimes you got to delve deeper and get into the spiritual workings of a thing. You're not going to be able to see it all. So you got to use those clear senses to understand what's really happening here. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye.